Hi friends, welcome to Cyber Pathshala. Today's topic is sample programs on operators in Java. In today's topic, we are going to discuss about some of the sample programs on a few of the operators whatever we have discussed in last session, and as usual train your brain session and Q&A session. Let us quickly write a few sample programs for some of the operators we have discussed in our last session. Here I am opening a new notepad to write the first program on unary operators. Class unary operators. So this is my class name. I'm opening my class and I'm closing my class. Inside that I'm writing my main method. Public static void main string args. I'm opening my main method and I'm closing my main method. So inside that I'm declaring two variables, int a equals to 5, and also I'm declaring int b equals to 10. So these are the two variables I declared. So let us first write a pre-increment operator. So I'm writing system dot out dot println. So I'm writing a pre-increment here, so which is plus plus a. So and also I'm writing the same thing for post increment. System dot out dot println b plus plus. So let us save this program first. So I'm saving it with the same name, unary operators dot java. So I'm saving it. So let us compile this program first. Java C unary operators dot java. So it got compiled successfully. Now let us run this. So if you see here, it printed 6 and 10, right? Let us go back and see the program once. So if you see here, so I have written I have declared two variables, int a equals to 5 and b equals to 10. So here I printed plus plus a, whereas for b I written b plus plus, which is post increment, and for a it is a pre-increment. So in the pre-increment, first the increment will happen, then the execution of statement will happen. So whereas in post increment, first the value of b will be directly printed and then the increment will happen, so which we call it as post increment. So that is the reason in a case first the increment happened, so that is the reason it got value 6, whereas for b first the value got printed directly and after that the increment is happened. So that is the reason we can see for a we could see 6, but whereas for b we could see only 10. But if you write the same statement, if you after this statement if you write system dot out dot println of b, so you can see 11 here. Let us check that also. I'm not doing any increment here, I'm just printing the b value directly. So let us save this and compile it again. So now you can see the value 11 because the increment happened after that. So we printed the value 10 and after that the increment happened. So now in the b we will be having 11. So that is the reason we could see 11 in the third print statement. And also we can let us see two more unary operators. One is complement, bitwise complement. So let us declare one more variable here, like I'm declaring int c equals to 10 only. So let us write a bitwise complement for this. System dot out dot println of complement c. So let us see what it printed. So in the value in the variable c we have 10, so but we are printing the complement of c. Let us see what it gets printed here. So I saved it already. Let us compile it again. It got compiled successfully. Now let us run this. So if you see here, it printed the value minus 11 because So in the complement operator, all the zeros will be converted into 1 and all the ones will be converted into zeros. The value of bitwise complement for any value, any variable or a value is also depends on your operating system, whether it is a 32-bit operating system or a 64-bit operating system. Based on this operating system also, your bitwise complement value for any variable will change. Quickly write one more program on arithmetic operators. So I'm opening a new notepad again. So I'm declaring my class name as arithmetic operators. So I'm opening my class and closing my class. Inside that I'm writing my main method, public static void main string args. So I'm opening my main method, I'm closing my main method. So inside that I'm declaring two variables, int a equals to 25, and also I'm declaring one more variable called int b equals to 4. So now let us perform an arithmetic operations on all these on these two variables. So I'm doing a addition, system dot out dot print ln of a plus b, which is an addition, and also I'm writing the same I'm writing the subtraction on the same two variables, system dot out dot print ln a minus b. Now let us write a multiplication, system dot out dot print ln a into b. Now we are writing a division, system dot out dot print ln a by b. Let us write modulus also, system dot out dot print ln a modulo b. So let us quickly save this program, arithmetic operators dot java. So let us quickly save it. Now let us compile the program now. Java C arithmetic operators dot java. So it got compiled successfully. Now let us run this. Okay, there might be a class misname or something like that. Here we have written arithmetic operators. Let us check that quickly. Now let us compile it one more time. So I renamed the name. So now if you see here, it printed 29, 21, 100, 6, 1. So let us quickly look at the program now. So a plus b, 25 plus 4, which is 29, and it printed 21, 25 minus 4, 21, and it also printed 100, 25 into 400, and then it printed 6. So here the a by b means which gives the quotient value of the, if you perform a by b, right? So it basically prints the quotient, not the remainder. So 25 by 4, 4 6 are 24, so that is the reason it is printing 6, which is a quotient value. So whereas in the modulus operator it will be printing the remainder. So 25 by 4, 4 6 are 24, still we have the 1 as a remainder, so that is the reason it is printing the 1 for the a modulus b operator. So the modulus operator will always give the remainder, and the division operator will always give the quotient value. So that is the reason we could see here 29, 21, 100, 6 and 1. Let's quickly write the sample program on shift operator. Class shift operators So I'm writing my main method. So I'm opening my main method and I'm closing my main method. So inside that I'm declaring a variable called int a equals to 10. So this is the variable I declared. So now let us perform shift operators on all the shift operators on this variable. So first I'm performing a left shift, system dot out dot println a left shift of 2 times. So I'm doing a left shift on a for 2 times. So for the same variable I'm writing system dot out dot println right shift on a for 2 times, and also I'm writing a zero filled right shift also on the same operator. So ideally you won't see any different if you perform a zero filled right shift on a positive number. So it's basically same as right shift operator. Println a three greater than symbols we need to give for zero filled right shift. So let us save this program quickly. Shift operators .java. Let us compile this program. Java C shift operators.java. So it got compiled successfully. Now let us run this. Java shift operators. So it basically printed 40, 2 and 2. So quickly take a new notepad and explain you how the shift operators works here. So I'm opening a new notepad. So we declared the variable a as 10 here, right? So the variable a is 10. So the variable a can be represented as in a binary format 1010, which is equivalent to the decimal value 10. So now if you perform a left shift operator, the most significant 2 bits will be shifted towards the left side. So which means this binary value will be this first most 2 significance will be shifted towards the left side, and these 2 bits will be replaced by the next 2 bits, and the least significant 2 bits will be replaced with the zeros. So which will be, so after shifting towards the left side 2 bits, so which is 10, and which will gets replaced with the next 2 significant bits, which is 10, and the last and the least 2 significance will be replaced with the zeros. So this is a new binary value will be getting after shifting the decimal value 10 towards the left side. So now if you see here, if you see this binary value which is equivalent to 40. So let me explain you how this will happen. So this is 0 into 2 power of 0, and 0 into 2 power of 1, and 0 into 2 power of 2, and 1 into 2 power of 3, so which is equivalent to 8, and 0 into 2 power of 4, which is equivalent to 16, and 1 into 2 power of 5, which is equivalent to 32. So here we got 32, and this for this one we got a 8. So 32 plus 8, which is equivalent to 40. So this is how after you perform a left shift operator on by any decimal value, this is how the left shift operator will work. And let us quickly look at the right shift operator. So let us quickly look at the same thing, 1010. So and after you perform a right shift operator on this binary value, so these the least 2 significance bit will be shifted towards the right side, and these 2 least significant bits will be replaced with the preceded bits whatever we have. So in this case the least significant 2 bits 10 will be removed, and you will be getting a 10 here, whatever preceded with the, see for this 2 least significant 2 bits we have preceded with 10, right? So these 2 bits will replace the least 2 significant bits, which will be 10, and for these 2 bits zeros will get replaced here. So now if you see here, the binary value whatever we have here is 0 into 2 power of 0 and 1 into 2 power of 1, so which is equal to 2. So that is the reason we can in the output we can see that so after performing a right shift operator on a 10, we are getting 2. The same applies for a zero field right shift operator. There is no difference at all if you perform a zero field right shift operator or a right shift operator on any positive value. But if you perform the zero field right shift operator on any negative number, it doesn't preserve the sign bit, whereas the right shift operator will preserve the sign bit. So the main difference between the right shift operator and zero field right shift operator is, so the right shift operator will preserve the sign bit, whereas the zero field right shift operator doesn't preserve the sign bit. Let us quickly write a sample program on relational operators. Class relational operators. I'm opening my class and I'm closing my class. Inside that I'm writing my main method, public static void main string args. I'm opening my main method, I'm closing my main method. So inside that, so let us declare two variables, int a equals to 15, and also I'm declaring one more variable called int b equals to 20. So now let us perform a relational operator on these two variables. So let us print the first let us look at the first relational operator, less than. System dot out dot println of a less than b. So here I am assuming the a value is less than b. So now let us compile and see this, whether what's the output we'll be getting. So before that, let us write so the other operator as well. System dot out dot println. Also I'm writing a greater than b. Here I'm assuming a value is greater than b value. So let us quickly compile it and save it. Let us quickly save this first. Relational operators .java. So let us quickly compile it. Java C relational operators.java. So it got compiled successfully. Now let us run this. Java relational operators. So if you see here, it printed true and false, right? So let us quickly look at the program now. So here the a value is 15 and b value is 20. So in the first print statement, I'm assuming the a value is less than b. Means, so here the 15 is obviously less than 20, right? So my assumption is right. So which is true. So that is the reason it printed me the value true. So whereas in the second case, I 15 is not greater than 20, right? So that is the reason my assumption is wrong here. So that is the reason it printed the value false. So let us look at the other operators as well, in the other relational operators. So let us quickly declare two more variables here. Int c equals to 15, int d equals to 20, or else maybe we can write 25. So let us quickly look at the other two operators here. System dot out dot println. So here I'm assuming c less than or equals to 25. Sorry, c less than or equals to d. And also I'm assuming system dot out dot println c greater than or equals to d. Or else let us change these two variables. let's say C equals to 25 and D equals to 15. So let us quickly save it and let us compile it again. Compile successfully. Let us run this. So it printed false and true in the second two print statements, right? So if you see here, the C value is 25 and D value is 15. So here the 25 is not less than or equals to 15. So that is the reason it printed false. But whereas in the second case 25 is greater than or equals to 15. So it is obviously greater, and also even if it is equal also it will be printing true only. So let us quickly modify this. So I'm changing this D value to 25 and let us see. Let us recompile this again. Java C relational operators and Java relational operators. So if you see here in the both the cases it printed true, right? So if you see the example again, so here I have written C less than or equals to D, which is 25, whether it is equal or whether it is less than the D. So then it will be printing true. So in the first case it is equal to the D. C is equal to the D because both the values are 25 only. In the second case also 25 greater than or equals to D. So in the second case it will be printing true whether the C value is greater than the D or whether it is equal to D. So in the second case also it is equal to the D. So that is the reason in both the cases it is printed the value true only. So let us quickly look at the other two operators, other two relational operators as well. System dot. Before that, let us quickly declare two more variables. Int e equals to 15. Int f equals to 15. System dot out dot println e double equals to 5. So here it is verifying whether the e value is equals to f or not, but it is not the assignment. So it basically compares both the e and f variables are having the same value or not. It is basically comparing. So let us quickly write the other print statement as well. System dot out dot println e not equals to f. So let us quickly save it and recompile the program. Java C relational operators, compile successfully. Java relational operator, it printed true and false for the last two print statement, because so in the both the variables we have value 15 only. So if you it will be this print statement is basically verifying whether e and f are having the same value or not. So in this case both are having the same value and it printed the value true. So whereas in the last print statement, so it is verifying whether the e and f are not equal, means which basically doesn't have the same value. So it is assuming both the e and f are not having the same value, but in this case actually it is having the same value. So that is the reason it printed the value false. Let us quickly write a sample program on logical operators. Logical operators. So inside that I'm writing my main method, public static void main string args. So here I'm declaring two variables, int a equals to 11 and int b equals to 10. So this is the these are two variables I declared. So now let us quickly look at the logical AND and logical OR operator here. So here I'm writing a if statement, so which we already discussed in our earlier sessions. So I'm assuming if a greater than b and a equals to b, then it print the statement, then print a statement like logical and worked, something like that. And also I'm writing one more if condition here. Here I'm saying if A greater than B or A equals to B, so then print the statement. So let us quickly save it like logical or worked. Okay, so let us quickly save this. Logical operators dot java. Save it. Let us quickly save this and let us compile it now. Javas C logical operators dot java. So it got compiled successfully. Now let us run this. Java logical operators. So it printed only logical or worked. So let us quickly look at the program. So if you see here, so the value of A is 11 and the value of B is 10. So in the first condition, so the first condition is true, which is 11 is greater than 10, so which is basically true. But whereas in the second condition we have written 11 equals to 10, so which is wrong. So in the logical AND case, if all the expressions returns true, then only the statements inside that if block will gets executed. So here in this case only one expression is true, so which is 11 greater than 10, but whereas in the 11 equals to 10 is wrong, so which is false. So that is the reason it didn't print the logical AND worked. Whereas in the second case, so if any of the expression in the logical operator worked, so then if any of the expression in the logical operator which yields true, so obviously the statements inside that if block will gets executed. So here in this case 11 greater than 10, but 11 not equals to 10, so that is the reason it printed only the logical or work. Now let us quickly write a sample program on ternary operator. So I'm opening a new notepad, class ternary operator. Now opening my class, closing my class. Inside that I'm writing my main method. Inside that I declare two variables, int a equals to 25 comma b equals to 15, and also I'm declaring a variable here max. So let us quickly look at which is the max value here in the two variables a and b. So for that I declared a third variable. So let us write a ternary operator here for the same. So for the max I'm writing that, so max equals to, so the ternary operator syntax will be, so here I'm assuming a greater than b. So if that is true, assign a value to the max. If it is not, then assign the value b. So let us quickly write a print statement here for max, what is got assigned in the ternary operator. So now let us quickly save it and ternary operator dot java. Let us save this. Let's compile the program quickly. So it got compiled successfully. Now let us run this. So it basically printed 25. So let us quickly look at the program, how it works. So here in this statement, so what is this is basically taking three operands, right? This is the expression and this is the second expression, that is basically third expression. So basically taking the three operands, that is the reason we call it a ternary operator. And also here it is verifying the condition whether the a value is greater than b or not. So if this expression returns true, So the first expression will gets executed, whereas if this statement, if this expression returns false, the second expression will be gets executed. So here in this case, so the a value is greater than b, which is returning true. So that is the reason it is assigning the value a to the max. But if it is returning false, so then it will be assigning the value b to the max. So let us quickly change it. So I'm assuming a less than b. So here, so let us quickly save it. So which is false, basically 25 less than 15 is false, right? So obviously it should assign b value to the max. Let us quickly compile and run it again. Javac ternary operator.java, Java ternary operator. So it should print basically 15. You can see that, right? Now let us quickly write a sample program on assignment operator. I'm opening a new notepad here. Class assignment operators. So I'm opening my class, closing my class. Inside that I'm declaring my main method. Public static void main string so I'm closing my main method here. So inside that I'm declaring a variable int a equals to 20. So let us quickly print this first. System.out.println. I'm just printing the value variable a here. So let us quickly save this. Assignment operators dot java. Now let us open a command prompt here. Javac assignment operator.java. It got compiled successfully. Now let us quickly run it. So it basically printed 20, right? So this is called a simple assignment operator. Here we are assigning the value 20 to the variable a, so which is called as a simple assignment operator. Now let us quickly look at the other assignment operators. So here I am writing system.out.println. I am writing a plus equals to 1, and also I am writing system.out.println a minus equals to 4, and also I am writing system.out.println a multiply equals to some 2. So let us quickly compile and see the output first. Javac assignment operators.java. It got compiled successfully. Now let us quickly run it. So if you see here, it basically printed 20, 21, 17 and 34. Let us quickly look at the program. So the first it printed the value 20, which is a simple assignment operator, which are assigning the value 20 to the variable a, and it printed the same. So which is very simple. So whereas in the second case we have written system.out.println of a plus equals to 1. So which is nothing but a equals to a plus 1. So this is the, in a simple statement we can write it like this. So let us quickly look at what is it's calculating. So in the already we have a value of 20 inside a, so which will be written here, and after that we are adding 1 to that, so which is equals to 1. So in this case, so if you add 21 to existing 20, so it will become 21. That is the reason it printed at 21 in the second print statement. Whereas in the third print statement, so already we have 21 inside a, and we are doing a subtract and assign on the operator variable a here with a 4. So which is equal to a equals to a minus 4. So in this case already we have 21 inside a, 21 minus 4, so which is equals to 17. And after that, so in the last print statement we have written multiply and assign, so which is equal to a equals to a into 2. So already we have the value 17 inside a, so which will be replaced here, 17 into 2, so which is equal to 34. So that is the reason it printed the values 20, 21, 17 and 34. Previous session train your brain question is 5 people were eating apples. A finished before B but behind C. D finished before G but behind B. What was the finishing order? And the answer is C, A, B, D and E. Today's session train your brain question is Ramya and Soumya decided to play tennis against each other. They bet 1 rupee on each game they played. And Ramya won 3 bets and Soumya won 5 rupees. How many games did they play? I am repeating the question again. Ramya and Soumya decided to play the tennis against each other. They bet 1 rupee on each game they played. Ramya won 3 bets and Soumya won 5 rupees. How many games did they play? If you have any questions in today's session, please write down them in the comment section. I'll pick the top 5 questions which will be useful for everyone, and those gets answered in the next session. If you directly come to this video, here we have the complete playlist. Please go through it. If you haven't liked this video yet, please click on the like button. And if you feel this video is helpful, please share it with your friends and family members. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please subscribe and please click on the bell icon to receive all the notifications. Thank you.